in the Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show. Welcome, fans, to The Spread. This is your guest host, Big Easy, in the studio today with Jay Dash. We're going to hit you quick with a prospect check. Big things going on in the MLB. Big things going on in Houston. What's going on? Who are we looking at?
Well, we're going to take a look at Joe Musgrove, but let's take a look at the Houston Astros right now. They had the big season last year.
Surprise year.
Yeah, now this season they've got off to a rough start. They're 14-21, 7.5 games back of first place in the AL West right now. Well, 7.5 games isn't that much.
No, we just spoke on that.
Yeah, but
Double
they are
digits.
in fourth place right now,
Okay.
and they're just not playing good baseball. You could see by the record at 14-21. The offense has underperformed a little bit, but the biggest problem so far has been the pitching. They've let up the third most runs allowed so far in the American League with 159. Now, their pitching staff, they have this Chris Davinsky who has filled in a little bit. He has a 1.72 ERA, but most of that coming out of the bullpen. He made a couple starts. Scott Feldman hasn't been terrible in a few starts, but really the core of their staff has underperformed to this point. Doug Fister leads all starters that have at least 30 innings pitched with a 4.22 ERA. Mike Fiers has a 4.65 ERA. Keuchel, 4.70. This is their ace. He has a 4.70 ERA right now. Well, it's a little too early to overreact or anything. You need to get some good pitching here. Colin McHugh has a 5.50 ERA. Now, they are looking forward to the return of Lance McCullers. He hasn't pitched yet this season. He went down earlier with a shoulder injury. And they're actually thinking this Saturday in Boston, we could see him make his 2016 debut.
Okay.
And this is really going to help bolster their rotation. I mean, he was going to be their number 2 going into the season, most likely. And they got some more help in the minor league system as well. And that's who we are going to talk about here is 23-year-old righty Joe Musgrove. He's 6'5", 265 pounds. He was drafted by Toronto in 2011, but was traded over to Houston in 2012 in a 10-player deal when he was 19 years old. Toronto, what they got in return was J.A. Happ.
Hey, now.
Yeah, Brandon Lyon and David Hernandez, who's actually pitching pretty well out of the Phillies bullpen right now. But the Astros actually got 7 players in return in that deal, including Musgrove, and he looks like the best player that they got in return in this deal. And if you look, after spending his first 3 seasons in rookie ball, Musgrove took off over the past 2+ seasons, and even more so since the beginning of 2015. While he's not really too hard to hit, he does stay under 1 hit per inning. He's allowed 249 hits in 278.1 career innings pitched in the minor league so far, and he's actually improved in that aspect of the game. He has 168 hits allowed in the past 204 innings since 2014. His best attribute, though, is his command. Listen to this, man. 34 walks in 278.1 career innings pitched. And even more remarkable is 11 walks in his last 127 innings pitched over the past 2 seasons between single A advanced, and double A. And he really goes right at hitters. He keeps the ball down. His fastball goes between 90 and 95 mile per hour. He has a good curve along with an average slider and average changeup as well. But along with the great command, you'd think when you have this good of command and you're not walking many batters, you're not going to be striking out too many people either because you're staying in the zone. But he's been able to strike out people as well. 263 in his minor league career. He has 129 strikeouts in his last 127 innings since the beginning of 2015. And he's been lights out over that time, man. Look, in 2015, between 3 levels, single A advanced, and double A, he had a 1.88 ERA, an 0.92 whip, and 102 thirds innings pitched, just 85 hits with 8 walks compared to 99 strikeouts. That's 19 appearances, 14 starts, and he was named the Houston Astros 2015 Minor League Pitcher of the Year.
Hey, now.
Yeah, I mean, it was beast mode, man. You don't see that where someone's striking out someone once per inning and walking someone less than once every 10 innings. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And after that phenomenal season, really, he was expected to start 2016 in AAA. The Astros decided to send him back to AA, where his numbers just remain elite, really. Look, 6 appearances, 4 starts, an 0.34 ERA, an 0.84 whip, in 26 and a third innings pitched, just 19 hits compared to 3 walks with 30 strikeouts. This guy is just beast mode right now. And they were actually talking about how he was going to be called up to AAA very soon. And I just read here a little bit ago, he was called up today, which is May 12th. So he was called up to AAA today, not to the big leagues. But the Houston Astros actually called a few prospects up from AA last season. Lance McCullers was a guy that went straight from AA to the big leagues. So I thought maybe this would be another one of those guys, Joe Musgrove, and another guy too. Your boy Vince Velasquez went from AA to the Houston Astros. I'm not very surprised though, because they said they don't have much room in the rotation, even though we've seen they're not pitching very well as a team. They're still big league starters, and you expect better results out of them. So I'm not surprised. He did get called up to AAA today, and I want to see him pitch. I think he's actually scheduled to pitch either today or tomorrow. So I want to see what he does in his first start in AAA. But he's not really considered a top prospect on many lists, and a lot of scouts believe he's actually a mid-rotation type starter. And if he's unable to keep his strikeout rate up as high as it is right now in the big leagues, like I said, it's hard to strike a lot of people out when you're not walking anybody at all. I mean, that's a real possibility, though, that could happen, considering how much he stays in the strike zone. But really, right now, there's no indication that that's going to happen, and I'm hoping for bigger things than a mid-rotation starter out of him from what we've seen over the last 2+ seasons from him. I would say in dynasty leagues, you're going to have to add him. He's a must-add at this point. And in redraft leagues, well, first of all, everybody I'm going to talk about, you want to grab in dynasty leagues, or I'm not going to be talking about them really because they're not that good of a player.
Right.
But in redraft leagues, I probably wouldn't grab him at this point because there's a chance that he actually ends up in the bullpen this season. I think he's a long-term starter, but we also seen the Houston Astros call people up and put them in the bullpen for their first season and then maybe spot start them here and there. I don't know, but there's a possibility that happens, and you're not going to get much value out of him in fantasy from the bullpen because he's not going to be getting you saves or anything. But long term, I think this guy's going to be a good starter, and I believe he's a little bit better than a mid-rotation type guy.
Houston, you want to hit us up? Let us know what you think. You can get us on Twitter at bet_the_spread, Facebook.com/betthespread.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and like this video.
That's it.